So in this video, we're covering the best games to stream on Twitch in 2021. Let's get into it. What's up guys, Ryan B here, this is RyFi Gaming, and in this video we are ranking the best games to stream on Twitch in 2021. Now this is an updated video from the old videos that I did on the same subject, and I will be revisiting this video every couple months or so depending on how fast things change on Twitch. So if you aren't subscribed to the channel, make sure you do that if you want to get updated with these lists. And also if you found this video helpful or like it in any way, make sure you hit a like on the video. We're still a very small channel and those likes go a long way to spreading these videos out to other people across YouTube and really helps us out here. So with this list, we are going to be ranking things in a typical gamer fashion. So right down here is going to be S tier, and that's going to be the best tier. Followed then on the next one below that is going to be A tier, then B tier, C tier, D tier, and at the bottom is going to be F tier. So those are going to be the tiers, and we'll kind of cover each one and what it kind of means once we get into the actual list itself. Now, of course, a little disclaimer to the list. If you are watching any videos that tell you to play certain games, you should always be playing games that you enjoy above all else. So no matter where your game sits on this list, as long as you enjoy playing it, that's going to be the biggest factor. Nobody wants to watch a streamer that is playing a game that they don't enjoy just because they think it's going to get them views. So make sure you enjoy the games you play and then figure out where it sits on the list and see if you want to switch over to something else that you enjoy. And before we get into the list itself, I do stream myself every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Twitch. We tend to hang out in the just chatting section for quite a while, talking about streaming, gaming, gear, all that kind of stuff. So if you have any questions, you want to have a conversation, go ahead and hop in there. Links in the description down below. So kicking this list off, we're going to be starting all the way at the bottom down in the F tier. And so F tier is going to be comprised of really oversaturated games that have a huge audience, but again, there's just so many streamers in these categories, making them all the way down at the bottom of this tier list. And starting off this tier list in F tier, at the bottom of F tier, we're looking at Rainbow Six Siege, which is a game that I played a lot when I first started streaming. I've seen a decent amount of growth with it, but again, it does land itself all the way at the bottom of the F tier. Next up, we have Fortnite, which is a game super known for being oversaturated because everyone is trying to stream this game and become the next Ninja. And right after that, we have Sea of Thieves, and followed by that, we have Overwatch. Next up is Dead by Daylight, which is a pretty fun game if you like those kind of horror style games. A lot of people have seen a decent amount of growth in this game. However, it is again at the F tier of this list just due to how many people stream this game. Right after that, we're looking at Valorant, which is a very intense FPS shooter, which I actually really like this game. However, it does land itself in the F tier just because, again, so many people that play this game. Right after that, we have the Call of Duties, so that's Modern Warfare, that's Warzone, that's all of those. They're gonna be in the F tier as well. Again, just so many people playing these games as well. It's gonna drown you out in these categories. Next up, we have Fall Guys, which has seen a huge spike of popularity on the Twitch scene recently. However, because again, there's just so many people streaming this game, it lands itself in the F tier. And at the top of F tier in a two-way tie, we're gonna have Minecraft and then Escape from Tarkov. So these are gonna pretty much be at the top end of the F tier, but again, still super oversaturated, but again, pretty big followings on both of these games, landing themselves at the top of F tier. So moving our way into the next tier on this list, which is going to be the D tier. So these games are still going to be a little oversaturated. However, they do have either bigger audience or just less saturation for these games, bringing themselves a little bit higher than the F tier into the D tier. And at the bottom of D tier, we're looking at World of Warcraft, which seen huge popularity spikes when Classic first came out. It's kind of settled now with some extra expansions coming out. But again, bottom of D tier for World of Warcraft. Next up, we're going to have Street Fighter V. Very competitive fighting game. If that's your style, you might want to check this one out. League of Legends is up next, and this one always surprises me because I would imagine with the amount of streamers that usually stream League of Legends that it would be in the F tier. However, it does set itself above because there's a lot of people that like to watch League of Legends, making it in the D tier. And next up, we're going to have VR Chat, which is another one that kind of surprised me on this list, though I have seen a lot of videos recently about people playing this game, and they make some interesting content with this game, so it's not really that surprising that it makes it to this list. Next up, we have World of Warships, and then after that, we're looking at old school RuneScape, which tends to have a huge follower base after many, many years of its release date. Looks like everyone's still trying to get those 99s. And at the top of D tier, we're looking at CSGO, which again, Counter-Strike Global Offensive is a really popular game, pretty hardcore in terms of shooters, so if that's kind of your style, you might want to check this game out. And alright guys, I do want to cut in here real quick and tell you about the sponsor of today's video, which is RyFi, the royalty-free, DMCA-free music playlist that I created for you guys to use on your streams, in your YouTube videos, pretty much any sort of platform that you want without having to worry about DMCA strikes on your accounts. Now the links are in the description down below for this. We got a bunch of different genres. We're talking lo-fi, 8-bit or chiptune, We got some EDM and a bunch more genres coming soon. So definitely go check that out, guys, if you want some music for your streams. So now back into the list, we are moving to the C tier of the list. So the games are starting to get progressively better and better to stream according to the statistics on Twitch. So at the bottom of C tier, we're looking at Jump King, which is an incredibly frustrating platformer game where you have to jump all the way to the top to save the princess. I'm not sure if anyone's ever actually beaten this game because it is incredibly frustrating. So if that sounds like your kind of style of platformer, definitely check this one out. Next up in the C tier, we're looking at Path of Exile, which is a dungeon crawler Diablo-esque style game. It's been on my radar to play for quite a while. I just haven't gotten around to getting my hands into it yet, but it's definitely a game that I want to check out. And it seems to hold its popularity because they have events every couple of months or so that keep people coming back and looking for more content. And right after that, we're looking at Grand Theft Auto 5, which has seen a huge popularity spikes due to all the RP servers here on Twitch. So if that's your thing, definitely check out Grand Theft Auto 5. So up next is Teamfight Tactics, which is League of Legends' take on the auto chess gaming scene. It's a very fun game, however, it is definitely big brain, so if you like those strategy kind of games, check this one out. And up next, right after that, we're looking at FIFA 21, so the new soccer game that came out this year, sports games. They have a huge cult following to them, so again, this one lands itself in the C tier. So at the top of C tier, we're looking at Legends of Runeterra, which again is League of Legends' take on the trading card game in a similar vein to either Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering. Now, I personally have not played Legends of Runeterra yet, however, it is again on my radar for me to check out because I have played Hearthstone and I do enjoy Hearthstone and I do like Magic the Gathering. So if card games are your style, you definitely probably want to check out Legends of Runeterra. And that's gonna wrap up all of C tier. Now moving our way into the B tier, so we're getting into really good games to start streaming because they have good audiences and not that many streamers streaming them. And at the bottom of B tier, we're looking at Raid Shadow Legends. Now again, this one always surprises me about how high this one ranks it on the list because it's a mobile game and I'm surprised that's got this much of a following that it does. But again, if that's your thing, definitely check it out. Up next, we have Magic the Gathering, which is the second card game on this list and a game that I've been recently getting into on Twitch, and I have noticed a little influx of people coming in to watch me play this game, even though I'm clearly not very good at it at the moment. Right over that is another interesting game that I was not even aware of until I started making this list, which is called Eternal Return Black Survival. So the best way to explain this game is it's a take on League of Legends mixed with a battle royale. And it is a very interesting concept that I'm kind of liking so far. I just kind of got my hands on it and I started playing it a little bit. And this game is actually really fun. So I encourage you guys to check this one out. Now right after that is Among Us. Now this one is definitely getting propped up because everyone is just playing Among Us. So all the popular streamers are playing it. It's a good way to interact with other streamers. It's a good way to interact with your community. And that's why this one makes it into the B tier. However, I can't imagine that this one is going to start falling down into the F tier shortly because it does seem like it's losing steam here on Twitch. Next up, we have Age of Empires 2, which is a definite old school classic when it comes to RTS games. And at the top of B tier, we are looking at Mario Maker 2, which is a super nice platformer game that everyone's familiar with. It really helps with chat interaction as well because chat can tell you levels that they made and you can play them on stream, which kind of helps build a little community around this game. So it's definitely a heavily suggested game for you guys to stream on stream, and the stats even back it up, making it the winner of B tier. Now moving into A tier, so we're looking at really good games to stream on Twitch according to the statistics. We're looking at Warcraft 3 as the bottom of A tier. Warcraft 3 is another old school RTS game that seems to have a cult following even here on Twitch. So if those are your kind of games, you definitely want to check this one out. Up next is another RTS classic, which is StarCraft 2. And again, I'm always surprised at how good these old school RTS games really hold up here on Twitch. Apparently just people love to watch these games. However, I do think that these are kind of tied in with how good you are at them. I'm not 100% sure, but I would imagine that it's kind of skill-based when it comes to streaming these games, but again, I'm not too sure. And next up in the A tier, we're looking at Dota 2, which always surprised me at how high up on the list this is. It's basically got a huge fan base similar to like League of Legends. However, it doesn't have nearly as many streamers streaming it, which brings it a lot higher on this list. Now, next up is a game that you could kind of argue that isn't really a game. However, I added it to this list because again, it just has a huge following and not that many streamers streaming it, and that's going to be poker. So again, you could argue it's not really a game, but I wanted to include this in the list just in case anyone was really into it and wanted to stream it on Twitch. And at the top of A tier, we are looking at a game called Epic 7, which seems to be a new RPG game that I'm not too familiar with. I haven't really seen or heard much about it. However, according to the stats, this thing is popping. There's really not that many streamers if you look at the directory. And again, it's got a huge viewer base to it. And that will wrap up all of A tier. Now, of course, if you guys have watched this long, make sure you hit a like on this video. It goes a long way to spreading these videos out to other people, and I would really appreciate it. Of course, think about subscribing to the channel if you haven't already and you want to see more updated lists just like this or relevant content to you across the channel. And as I mentioned before, I do stream myself every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, link in the description down below. We tend to hop in the just chatting section for quite a while when we first start, just have a conversation, talk about streaming, tech, all that kind of stuff. So if that seems like your kind of thing, definitely hop in there and let's have a conversation. Or if that's not really really your thing, we do have a Discord full of over 400 plus people. If you're looking to network with a bunch of other content creators and that kind of stuff, link again in the description down below. Now moving our way into S tier, which is going to be the top of the top when it comes to streaming on Twitch. And at the bottom of S tier, we are looking at a game that has just been kind of rocking it on Twitch, and that's going to be chess. Now again, with this game, I'm pretty sure it's going to be skill dependent. I'm not sure how many people really want to watch someone that's not very good. I think most of the people want to watch someone who's really good at this game. But if you were ever looking to get into chess, you want to learn or anything like that, and you want to stream it, definitely check this one out because it is huge here on Twitch. And next up right after that is another game that you could technically argue isn't really a game, and that's going to be slots. Now I'm not real sure why, but this thing has a huge following. There's not that many people streaming it, which that part makes sense, but it just seems to be a lot of people want to watch people stream slots, which again, doesn't really make much sense to me, but it is there, so I included it on this list. And right after that, we have an actual game, and it's Spelunky 2. Now with this, it is a platformer game. Again, I'm not too familiar with it because I haven't played this one myself. However, this one does have a huge following attached to it, and again, just not that many people streaming it, bringing this thing all the way to the top tier of Twitch. So at the top of S tier, basically the best game to stream on Twitch according to the statistics is going to be Hearthstone. Now this is a trading card game in a similar vein to either Magic or Legends of Runeterra. However, this one, according to the stats, is the best one to stream. It's got the least amount of people streaming it on average compared to viewers. The top people that stream the game, even if you exclude them, this is still one of the top games to play. Now again, it is definitely going to depend, of course, on your skill. So if that's your kind of thing, if you like trading card games or you want to get into a trading card game, I cannot recommend Hearthstone enough. And that's it, guys. That's going to wrap up the tier list of the best games to stream on Twitch in 2021. Again, if you have any questions, hit me up in the comment section down below, or if you think that there was a game that you need to know where it should land on this list, let me know again in the comment section down below. And of course, we got some relevant content all right here, guys.